To understand really why this virus is so dangerous, let's discuss its reproductive value. R0 value, or the RO value, is a term that shows through scientific evidence how many people are likely to become infected by one individual. Let's go over some numbers here. What's the difference between this flu and the annual flu or the seasonal flu? And a lot of people are saying, wow, look at how many deaths from the seasonal flu. Don't even worry about this virus. Don't be silly. The seasonal flu infects millions of people every year, but it affects mostly the weak and immune, the old, and the very young infants. This disease, on the other hand, infects and affects young and healthy individuals. Case fatality ratio, or CFR, for the annual or seasonal flu is less than 0.1%. Let that sink in for a moment. Case fatality ratio for the 2019 Wuhan coronavirus is between 3% and 10% as the numbers continue to be confirmed and as they mature. 30 times more deadly than the flu. Throw that number into the face of somebody who says, well, the flu kills more people every year than this, so don't worry about it. Those are ignorant people that are choosing to believe exactly what they want to believe. They're only looking at the data they want to. Flu spreadability, or the R0, R0 value of the seasonal flu, is between 1 and 1.28. And yet this spreads to tens of millions of people every year. The Wuhan virus RO value is between 2 and 5.8. Anytime you have a value above 1, that means this virus will continue to spread. The seasonal flu is 1 to 1.28. And it spreads to millions of people every year. This disease, between 2 and 6. Researchers are warning that it's going to spread to hundreds of millions if extreme measures are not taken. Isolation, quarantine, shutting down the borders. With the seasonal flu, a few people need ICU, of course, the young and the old. A few percent of those who contract the seasonal flu require ICU and intubation, oxygen, things like that. The Wuhan virus, 1 out of 4 people, 25%, require intensive care units. This means that if your family gets it, it's going to spread to between 2 and 6 other people in close proximity. And 1 out of 4 of them are going to need to go to the hospital, into the ICU, to get intubation, or to get help breathing, to get taken care of. This is much more dangerous. This is a pandemic and a virus of global proportions. The 1918 Spanish flu infected 500 million people with a reproductive value of 1.8. The coronavirus, 2 to 6, 2 to 5.8. The Spanish flu killed 50 million people because they didn't have an immunity to this type of virus. Every person walking this planet right now does not have an immunity to this coronavirus. Right now, the threat is global. The World Health Organization is currently labeling this as a high global threat. This means that the likelihood of a global pandemic, worldwide loss of life, is high. 2 to 10%, 2 to 15%, excuse me, of the people who get sick with this are dead or dying. Hundreds of millions are to be infected if it continues. Tens of millions will die. 60 million people are quarantined to their city. They have run out of masks. They cannot buy 25 pounds of rice. They're stuck. You have the opportunity to make tomorrow's quarantine easier, to make your personal isolation easier. The government doesn't want to issue a forced self-isolation period or a quarantine until it is too late to contain it. As soon as they do, it will be like the worst storm or hurricane panic buying spree that you have ever seen. Look at masks right now. Go online right now and try to find level 3 or N95 masks. And you're either going to pay an exorbitant 4 times the price. You have to consider what you will do to protect yourself. If we continue exponential growth, we are looking at a global killer, a population decimating disease. I urge you to start shopping from home. Consider how you're going to get supplies now, so that when that panic run happens, you and your family are ready.